The perennially divisive Cyber Information Sharing and Protection Act, CISPA, first introduced in 2011, has come back this spring. CISPA may have the distinction of being the only bill the president has threatened to veto twice. Other bills are no better in the eyes of the privacy community. For his part, the president has put forward his own legislative proposal on information sharing. But what are the major dividing lines between these approaches? Here are 3 things you need to know about U.S. cybersecurity policy and the debate on the Hill. The first thing to know is that this debate isn't really about information sharing. The bills backed by the intelligence committees are really about monitoring networks for cyber threats and stopping attacks. North Korea's destructive attack against Sony Pictures put the intelligence community and Defense Department on edge. Many leaders in the field have long believed the government needs to be able to give internet service providers, ISPs like AT&T, Verizon, and Comcast, classified signatures that could be used to not only detect but also stop attacks like the one against Sony, and that ISPs should be able to share information with the government when they detect an attack. Information sharing is an enabler, but it's not the goal. In contrast, the legislative proposal out of the White House would not permit any new monitoring. Its basic premise is that if you can already lawfully collect a piece of cybersecurity information, you should be able to share it. The president would not expand authority to collect new information, while the bills backed by the intelligence committees would. They would allow the ISPs to monitor all the traffic that crosses their networks. This leads to the second thing to know, which is that most other companies already can and do monitor their networks for cyber threats and share information about those threats with other companies and the government. Companies like Ford or Microsoft don't need any new authority to do that. ISPs under current law can't scan all traffic for cyber threats or block those threats. It would violate the Wiretap Act. They can only monitor their networks for threats that would affect their ability to do business, threats targeted at them or their customers who are paying them to provide these services. The third thing to know is that divisions on this issue don't necessarily follow along partisan lines. The president wants the Department of Homeland Security to be the main portal for sending and receiving cybersecurity information between government and the private sector. He likely has an ally in Congressman Michael McCaul, the chairman of the House Homeland Security Committee, who passed a bill last December that strengthened the National Cybersecurity and Communications Integration Center at Homeland. Members of the intelligence committees in both the House and the Senate, regardless of party affiliation, want the National Security Agency to be able to share information directly with private companies. The president's veto threat on CISPA directly addressed that point, saying that allowing the NSA to work directly with domestic companies would violate long-standing traditions on the role of civilian and military agencies, traditions that exist to preserve fundamental rights.